Good evening friends. Unit 8, yours faithfully. Let us see the pre-task. The picture story, I'm sure, is very easy to understand. Looking at the picture, you can arrange them and understand what is happening. The second task is how a note or how a message is written. Ahmed writes a note. Now see how a note is written. Just the date and no address. Only I'm not well. I cannot play cricket this afternoon. Sorry, Ahmed. Now he feels sorry, so that is why he is asking forgiveness for not participating in the game. And Ahmed has to be written because he has to show who has written. The second one is sort of a message. But one more thing that you need to note down in message is also the date. Dear Ahmed, as this was written on the same day after the match. Dear Ahmed, sorry about your illness. Happy to tell you that we won the match by 100 runs. Get well soon. Bye. So see, neither of them have beaten about the bush, written anything extra, very precise, to the point, what they want to convey. So that is why it is a note and that is why it is a message. Only thing you remember that in message you must also write down the date. Now here we have the letters. See the address on your left hand corner. 77 Maruti Society, Vidyanagar, 3rd July 2006. See, all the things are written on the left hand side. So if you write the address on the left, the date also will come on the left, and when you are signing it out, then even yours faithfully, Dhaval Sinha, will come on the left hand side. Now let us see the letter. Dear Mr. Rathod, I think you should know that your dog came into my garden yesterday and buried a bone right in the middle of my flower bed. Yours faithfully, Dhaval Sinha. See what he has written, yours faithfully. In answer to this question, Mr. Sinha gets a reply from Mr. Rathod. Now look at the address. This gentleman has written the address on the right hand side. Date is also on the right hand side. And even signing out is on the right hand side. So keep this in mind. Whatever format you follow, the entire thing should be uniform. So see the address. In the previous it was 77 Maruti Society. And in the second one it is 78 Maruti Society. So you can understand they are neighbors. Vidyanagar and 4th July. Dear Colonel Sinha, because he has been an army person, he is addressed Colonel Sinha. Thank you for your letter. I am sorry to hear that my dog has damaged your flower bed. He usually prefers my garden, but perhaps he was leaving the bone for your dog, which I often find hungry, which often looks hungry. So just note in this letter, first he is being courteous and saying thank you. Second, he is also saying sorry for the dog's act. The third one, he is making a suggestion that the dog is leaving a bone for Mr. Sinha's dog, which looks very hungry. Yours faithfully, Rajiv Rathore. So Mr. Rathore has made couple of points. In answer to this letter, see what will be written by Mr. Sinha. Once again, all the address and signing out are on the left hand side. It is now 5th July. The year is 2006. Dear Mr. Rathore, thank you for your letter. I do not like what you say about my dog. He is an old friend in this house and always has 2 good meals a day. He does not spoil other people's garden. Perhaps you would apologize. So see, now Mr. Sinha is trying to justify, and what does he say? He also is being courteous. Thank you for your letter. Second thing he says, he does not like things said about his dog. What you say about my dog? Because the dog is treated as a family member, he doesn't want anyone to insult him. He's also trying to answer that statement, your dog looks hungry. Yeah, Mr. Rathore has said, Sinha's dog looks hungry. And so he's saying, he cannot because he's having 2 meals. And one more thing is that Mr. Sinha's dog is habituated to be in his own garden rather than going into someone else's. And therefore he is asking Mr. Rathore to apologize. Yours faithfully, Dhaval Sinha. In answer to that letter, we have the reply. See the address once again on the right hand side. Dear Colonel Sinha, thank you for your letter. I am glad to hear that your dog gets enough to eat. See, he is taunting. I have often worried about it when it comes into my garden and runs around looking for food. So see what allegation he is putting on the dog. That you are giving him food. I am very thankful to hear that. But still, he must be underfed. He may not be getting enough food. Because he does come to our garden looking for food. It has often chased my cat up a tree and knocked down many flower pots. So see what mischief is being done. So he is saying, chasing his cat, at the same time knocking down flower pots. Perhaps you would keep it under control in future and apologize. Now both the neighbors want an apology. Say sorry. We know that most of the time saying sorry is like, hurting your ego. And therefore nobody wants to say sorry, even if they are at fault. In answer to that, we have this letter. Dear Mr. Rathore, thank you for your letter. I certainly will not apologize. See, he begins with a very courteous gesture. He is showing his formality. Thank you for your letter. I certainly will not apologize for anything my dog has done in your garden. Your dog, for many years, been a great trouble to me in my garden. So see, now he is accusing the other gentleman that your dog, for many, many years I have tolerated him. It makes hole in the hedge, that is fencing, through which he gets into a garden, and it is often in my garden digging the ground. Here he digs the ground in my garden. Of course, I know your dog is not a pedigree. I know that your dog is not a pedigree dog. It's mongrel. Mongrels are not easy to control. Mongrels are actually the street dogs, stray dogs. They have no pedigree. But I think things have gone too far now. If I find your dog in my garden again, I shall report the matter to police. Yours faithfully, Dhaval Sinha. Now see how much the matter has got serious between the two neighbors, all connected with dogs, and they are ready to, drag the police into such a domestic matter. In answer to such a letter, see what is written by Mr. Rathod. Dear Colonel Sinha, thank you for your letter. I have not said anything about it before. So now I'm going to make some declaration, which I have not done before. But for many years, your dog has also been a great trouble to me. I have kept mum. I have kept silent. I have not pointed out. Now that you point out, I am going to speak my mind. It does not seem to know the difference between your garden and mine. Perhaps you allow it to dig in your garden. But I do not allow my dog to do such a thing here. So because your dog digs in your garden, he comes to my garden and digs my ground. I haven't taught my dog anything like that. I would like you to know that my dog is not a mongrel, meaning a street dog. I can show you his pedigree if you like. Now all the dog owners, they generally keep the certificate showing that they have been injected. So if they bite, there is no fear. So here he is saying, I'll show you the certificate of my dog that he is a pedigree dog. And I am sure you cannot show me any such thing about the thing you call dog. So see how stubbornly, how each word is being digested, chewed, and then thrown. I'll read that part again. I would like you to know that my dog is not a mongrel. Many a times those people who keep dogs, now if you say to them, tere kutte ko dur rakh, they get angry. They'll say, uska naam hai, call him by name, don't call him kutta. So see, you can't call a dog a dog. So here he is also, you can see it, which is very common among the people who keep pets, because they treat the pets as family members, and therefore they cannot be called by the species they belong to. I can show you his pedigree certificate, that is, if you like. And I am sure you cannot show me any such thing about the thing you call a dog. As for the police, you mentioned in your letter you're going to call police. Well, I shall be very pleased to tell them about your dog. So you're doing me a favor by calling police. I will also show them what all things your dog does. Now see how the letters have been written. They are very courteous. At the same time, they are spilling balls of fire at each other. They keep on complaining. They won't come face to face and solve the problem. It shows that they're very fond of writing, and that is why the correspondence. Now in reply to this letter, Dear Mr. Rathore, thank you for your letter. I think you are a very unpleasant person and should not even be allowed to keep a dog. Yours faithfully. See, Mr. Sinha, Colonel Sinha is so upset by the things Rathore has said about the dog, and so he says that I will call you unpleasant person because you don't have manners of speaking. And beside that, what are you saying that you have a dog? You are not a person who should be allowed to keep a dog. Because if you can't control yourself, how are you going to control the dog? So see the allegation. See the slaps that they are making on each other's face. Answer to that letter. Dear Colonel Sinha, thank you for your letter. I would rather have a dog than you. Yours faithfully. So see, when Mr. Sinha says you should not keep a dog, this gentleman goes to the extent of saying that I'd rather have a dog as companion than a person like you as my neighbor. So see how very unpleasant both of them are. Now you find the first part, the unit has two parts. First, exchange of letters between neighbors ever complaining, which we have just taken up. The second part is a dialogue between two dogs of the two neighbors. That is, one dog of Mr. Rathore and the other of Colonel Sinha. They, meaning the dogs, express their opinion about their masters. If you ever go into the natural environment, you'll find all animals are living happily. Nobody is fighting that this is my territory and you and me. There is no anything like ego. But here you can see the dogs can understand their masters have great ego. They also pass an opinion. Just imagine dogs, the pets, are passing opinion about the masters, about the improvement of relations between the two neighbors. So the last dialogue is, I hope the situation will change, and the other one also says, I hope it does. See dog 1, it will come to an end, I hope. What is this? The complaint writing to each other, fighting with each other, getting at each other's throat, each one thinking the other one is wrong. The second dog says, perhaps it will, meaning this quarrel will come to an end. So see, it's a beautiful unit in which you have learned how to write a note, how to write a message, and how to write letters. In spite of being courteous, they are just throwing very heated, hot words at each other. Let us see the vocabulary. In this we are coming with the MCQ from page 72. First one, I have often worried about you. I have often worried about you. It means not the first one, I am worried about you. It is, I was worried about it and even now I am worried. I have often worried about it. So, in the past, the worry was there and it is still continuing and therefore the second option is appropriate. The second one, I think things have gone too far now. Now what does this sentence mean? Things are so far that they are not visible. Incorrect. Things have crossed all limits of patience. And the third one, things have gone beyond control. So the right answer has been underlined for you. It is the second one. Things have crossed all limits of patience, meaning both of them are getting at each other. Third one, I would like you to know, meaning I wanted to inform you, I want you to know, I would like to know. So I want you to know. Fourth one, we would better stay in our gardens today. So though both the dogs have met, they think, why make the masters angry and get at each other's throats? So they're saying, we'll stay in our garden. You in yours and I in mine. So what does that sentence mean? It is advisable to stay in our own gardens today. Second one, it is in order to stay? No. It is not advisable to stay in a garden, meaning we cross over to each other? No. So the first one is the correct one. Fifth, I would rather have a dog than you. First one is, I prefer your company to that of a dog. Of course not. I prefer a dog's company to that of yours. Yes, correct. And I prefer neither you nor a dog. So, second option is correct one. Sixth, I know that your dog is not a pedigree. Here they have given 4 options. Pedigree means crossbreed dog. It means a street or stray dog, or it means a pure breed of a dog. So pedigree means a pure breed of dog. Number 7th one. Who threatened to report the matter to the police? Was it Dhaval Sinha? Was it Rajiv Rathore? Or was it dog 1? It is Mr. Rathore. 8th one. Which dog's master has been upset all that week? This particular section, you will find it in the dialogue between the 2 dogs. And it is the dogs who are saying for how long the masters have been upset. It is dog 2 who has observed his master being upset for almost a week. The B segment of this section, use of mine, yours, ours, their, hers, his, none of these words take apostrophe. So see, just above this you have dog 1's, a dog 2's. Now in this case it is belonging, possession, and therefore apostrophe. But in the words that are given here, mine, yours, ours, their, theirs, hers, his, none of them will have apostrophe, which indicating possession or marking omission. Fill in the blanks. Now let us see the answers. First sentence coming your way. I am riding my scooter. You ride yours. Ours is an ancient culture. The players are tired, but their coach is not. Jalpa helped me solve my problems, but did not solve hers. That house is mine. Where is your house? Don't worry. Yours is a better performance. Yours is a better performance. Comprehension. First question coming your way. How can you say that Mr. Rathore and Colonel Sinha are next door neighbor? See the answer. The address shows that Mr. Rathore lives in 78 Marathi Society and Colonel Sinha lives in 77 Marathi Society, Vijayanagar. So that is the first, the address telling you that they are neighbors. The second one is, their gardens have common hedge or fence. So they are next door neighbors. Even the dogs say they live next to each other for all these years. So 3 places the proof has been given that both of them are next door neighbors. Second question. Which words or expressions tell that the dogs are wiser than their masters? Answer. The opening sentence made by dog 1 to stay in their own gardens as their old men were in foul mood. In no mood or bad mood. They had nothing to do. So they went on writing letters to each other. I'll read this answer for you so that you get it correctly. The opening sentence made by dog 1 to stay in their own gardens as their old men were in bad mood. They had nothing to do, so they went on writing letters to each other. Third question. The words and expressions which you find humorous. Answer. The complaints of both Mr. Rathore and Colonel Sinha are really humorous. Colonel Sinha complaining that Mr. Rathore's dog buries a bone in his garden. And the second one, the other says, that is Colonel Sinha's dog looks underfed, meaning all the time hungry, and so his dog leaves the bone for Colonel Sinha's dog. Even other complaints are very humorous. Humorous meaning something funny. Fourth one, what are the insulting words used for both the dogs? Now let us see which are the words. Dhaval Sinha thinks his dog has manners and does not spoil other people's garden. And Mr. Rathore's remark that Colonel Sinha's dog was underfed and came looking for food in his garden. Colonel Sinha's accusation that Mr. Rathore's dog was not a pedigree, as though the remarks of Colonel Sinha and Rathore shouldn't or was not enough, that Mr. Rathore put the last nail by saying he prefers to have dog's company than Colonel Sinha's. Now this answer you can make columns, and on one side you write Dhaval Sinha and the other side you write down Rajiv Rathore, and whatever complaints you have in very short note making you can write one below the other. Fifth question. Which do you think is the most insulting letter and why? Answer. The last 2 letters of Mr. Rathore and Colonel Sinha is very insulting because it said that he would rather have a dog than Colonel Sinha for company, and Colonel Sinha calling Mr. Rathore unpleasant and shouldn't have a dog. So these 2 letters show insult, they are most insulting ones. Sixth one. Which expressions do the letter begin and end with? While reading the letters, every time I have been telling you that all the letters begin with thank you and all of them end with yours faithfully. So see, each letter begins with thank you and ends with yours faithfully. These expressions suggest just formalities and do not mean what they state. So they are almost, speaking through their mouth, through their teeth, you can say. Grammar section, page 74. A report based on the conversation between uncle and Mitali. Straight away, this is more of an indirect speech because you have the dialogue which has been reported. On seeing Mitali, uncle greeted her and congratulated her for winning a prize in the debate competition. Mitali greeted back and thanked her uncle. Further, she said that she spoke well, but she was not sure that she would win the prize. Her uncle said he heard that she was going to take part in the competition at the district level. Mitali said that she was and said she would try her luck there. To this, her uncle wished her good luck and took her leave and said goodbye. So this is how you can write a report. Only thing, you'll have to write a heading and date and place and the name of the reporter. And otherwise, if you are writing it as indirect speech, this is one of the best illustration that you can have. The B part of this segment, use of for and since. For indicates duration and since indicates point of time. So see, keep this in mind. For, time duration, and the second one, point of time. Column B's solutions have been done for you. I am waiting for my friend now. I have been waiting for my friend for the past 2 hours. Because time duration is mentioned, so for. Second, it has been raining since 6 o'clock in the morning. Meaning, still it is raining. Third, the captain has been batting for a long time. Now here the time duration is given and therefore you're saying for a long time. Fourth one, the teacher has been driving her car for a few hours. Again, time duration has been given. Fifth, I have been waiting letters. I have been waiting letters. And you can also be writing, I have been writing letters since my father left. I have been writing letters since my father left. That means the letters are still continued. Sixth, my parents have been working in the town since March 2000, meaning they are still working in the town. B part of it, fill in the blanks with since or for. First one, I saw the film Devdas on the day it was released. I have seen it for 5 times since then, meaning since its release I'm still watching it. It has run for 4 years now. Mr. Patel hasn't met his father since he left for the UK. So see, it is still absence. They have not met. Third, Shevog has been batting since morning, meaning he is not out. Still he doesn't seem to be tired. So he is not out and that is why you're writing since morning. Fourth sentence, it has been raining heavily in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu for the last 5 weeks. Meaning now it has almost come to an end. Fifth, the people of India have worshipped the Ganga since centuries, meaning still even today they are worshipping. Sixth, my parents have worked in the town for 10 years. Now in this case, it is for 10 years because the time duration has been mentioned. I hope the entire lesson, the unit, yours faithfully, has opened up various chapters for you, and you will be more comfortable writing a note, writing a message, or even exchanging letters. You need to be formal, whatever may be the relation. Courtesy should never be out of the letter. And saying yours faithfully, whether you are or not, it is immaterial. But you have to be courteous. So thank you for the letter, and yours faithfully shows courtesy. Now I will say thank you for this lesson. I hope you have enjoyed it.